I haven't done Reddit posts for a long time, but I have had woman-centered spaces for a while. And the way these stories are shifting, I really do feel like there is something different about the discourse of women and that tolerable level of permanent unhappiness, that threshold has been met. And so many women are not putting up with all of this for too long. Once they get to the point of writing these Reddit posts, I think that the shift is coming. So this was posted in the 2X chromosomes a week ago. She says, "I'm tired and so over it all." She says, "Yesterday I asked if we were going to put up the Christmas tree. My daughters, 18 and 16, were both busy with various things, and husband said, let's do it tomorrow. After lunch today, I sat on the couch and asked my youngest daughter if she's going to disappear to her room for the rest of the day. Yep, said to the husband later, so no tree. Oops, haha, was all he said. I'm done. I'm not putting up a tree this year. No stockings. Will probably save money as well." So that was her original post. And I guess after some of the comments or the next day, she posted an update saying, "My husband made pancakes this morning and afterwards started getting the tree and the decorations from the attic. The kids started helping immediately, and my youngest was excited, telling us all about her upcoming Sweet 16 party. Thank you, everyone, for reading, commenting, and taking time to care about an internet stranger and her daughters." So I guess even just stopping for a little bit, that made the family pause or whatever, because the very next day in this particular family, they got it together. The comments show that there is such a shared experience among women. So Casey says, "I wanted to put the tree up 2 weeks ago. My husband said he thought it was too early. Last weekend, I said we needed to do it. He said no, he just wanted to rest. This weekend, I told him and my son that I had to go to the store for a pickup and the tree had better be on its way up by the time I got home. Husband asked where did I want it. It's in the same space every year. I told him he could decide. I got home and it was on its way. I put my things away, cleaned the kitchen, and watched them finish the tree as I cleaned. Once it was up, they acted like they did me a favor and like they were done. I asked, what about this? And pointed to the storage boxes and packaging stuff. They sheepishly put that away. I put up some decorations and made sure the boxes got in the storage area safely. Why do they think it's only mom's job?" And then the OP says, "Yes. Why does it all fall on us?" It doesn't have to all fall on us. And we're having these conversations in these social media spaces so that women can know and understand that we can take a step back and it'll be okay. And it'll possibly save some money too. Sloth, the alchemist, said, "OP came here to vent, ended up getting stormed for the passive aggression and just told to communicate. Glad the next day turned out better for OP." And then the OP says, "Thank you. I needed to vent, but I also listened to the criticism. I know everyone is reacting to one thing I said while having a bad day, but that's the only thing they can go on. I have a great relationship with my daughters. They are teenagers, and all of us have our off days. I appreciate everyone for taking the time to write a reply." This is a really introspective woman. Sustainable Barbie says, "My heart hurts for all of the moms that have become so bitter and passive aggressive. It's not their fault. It's the society we live in and the lack of support women receive primarily as we become wives and mothers, etc. This post reminds me so much of my own mother that I've grown to not particularly like or enjoy being around." So this is obviously from the daughter's perspective. And that can happen. You can see your mom becoming bitter and angry, and the mom not really knowing how to communicate. And, you could take that internally and just say, I don't want to be around her anymore. So it does take some communication skills on both parties, especially when you are an adult child of a person, like what is going on. But mothers have got to, take that step and not be passive aggressive. Ask for what you need. Tell them, I'm not doing it because I am tired and I can't do this by myself. We've really got to get better about, taking the time to talk these things through. And, instead of getting passive aggressive, just say, never mind. Don't be angry about it. Just pull back, because you don't want to get to this point where your adult children don't want to be around you. My fire elf says, "I've been thinking about this gentle parenting video." I didn't click it a lot as I see complaints about holiday strikes pop up. And I can't wonder if we're accidentally quiet quitting instead. A strike usually involves a declaration and a list of conditions under which work will resume. Deciding not to make the holiday happen because all of the labor shouldn't fall to one person is valid and just. But without telling the other members of the family that you are doing it, why you are doing it, and what you want to see change, the strike is only going to lead to disappointment and resentment. People take women for granted, but part of not noticing us is that they don't notice they're not noticing. Okay, tell them they should get one chance. See, that goes along with what that other lady just said about the mom becoming passive aggressive and now she doesn't want to be a part of her life anymore. This is good. The OP says, I think you're onto something, quiet quitting. That could be what is going on without even realizing that I'm doing it. A little recognition, a little enthusiasm is all I want from them. That's a good comment right there. And I think that that's a good place to leave this one. I'm going to move on to this one. This one is from the Truth Off My Chest subreddit. She says, I'm so sick of being a wife and mom. She says, I realized that not long ago that it's not motherhood that's the problem. It's the partner I picked. I completely dropped the ball. I'm what you call a married single mom. I cook, food shopping, clean, laundry, appointments, practices, games, etc. I literally do it all. Even the typical man jobs that they do once a year but claim they are active in the home. I blow the leaves, fix the things that break, YouTube University, paint, clean the pool in the summer above ground, that I just knew was going to be another task for me to take on, but I still yet said yes to the purchase. Take the car in for maintenance, etc. All my husband does is go to work, and I guess I should be thankful since he comes home every night. I'm tired and so bitter. I've lost my sparkle. Hearing a wife talk about how her husband cooks or does the laundry just enrages me. I'm filled with jealousy. Like, what did I do in life to deserve this sentence? I used to love making fun and new meals. Now I just effing hate cooking. Everything in my head I think of in terms of this is going to be more work for me. Just over the weekend, I'm putting up the Christmas tree all by myself. And I'm just like, why am I even doing this? I want to run away and leave everyone behind. Just start a new life somewhere warm and live out the rest of my days in peace by myself. In peace by myself. My kids are old enough at this point, 12 and 10. I've done all the hard parts. I've had this conversation with my husband 11 million times. Now his new thing is to get the kids on board, and I need to wake up earlier so I can do more. I'm not okay, but it is what it is. I want to add, I do all of that along with working full time, sometimes 50 to 60 hours to get overtime. So this is a bitter mom. She is tired. She's just at that point, and it sounds like she's about to say F it as well. Like I said, I see a theme, and these are themes that are hitting multiple subreddits in different ways. Now, this person at the bottom says, if you're not ready to leave him, stop doing things for him. Don't do his laundry. Don't cook for him. If he leaves a mess somewhere, do what you can do to gather it up and leave it in a space of his. If your kids are old enough to do chores, it's time to start assigning them some. If they refuse, give them the same treatment. Again, if they're old enough, go on strike. Edit. Since people have been asking, this is an extreme, last resort, Hail Mary tactic to be used when all forms of communications have failed. Some people only learn or believe the seriousness of something when they experience consequences. I'm not suggesting you let your house fall into disrepair. Just stop doing things that benefit your partner directly. Wash your own laundry, believe theirs. Cook your own meal, but don't make enough for them. Clean enough dishes for you to use, and if you don't like a messy sink, gather his dishes in a box and put them somewhere he spends time. If you have small children, obviously do what you need to do to care for them, but even young children should be starting to learn to put their things away in the proper place and helping with basic chores. Young kids love to help. Older kids may also need to experience some consequences. She says, yes, this is extreme. It seems petty, but again, it's meant to be a message. Your partner will likely get upset, but hopefully once they know you're not going to cave, they'll step up and grow up. If they don't, well, at that point, you really have to ask yourself, whether this dynamic is something you can continue to live with. Like I said, this is very much when all else has failed. But if you cave first, expect this to be the dynamic of the relationship for the rest of its duration, because what you're showing is that they'll eventually get their way. Or sometimes partners really just don't care about the state of their environment. Either way, at that point, it's time for a hard choice. Do you live with your partner the way they are? Is it worth it for other reasons? Or do you prioritize your own well being? I needed to get to that comment because it was very well fleshed out. It was had some really good points, and it is a plan, because at some point you have to say, is this even really working for me? Why am I sticking and staying with this person who obviously doesn't care? So you need to ask yourself those questions. And I'm gonna end it with this person. I did this twice. The second time was hard because he literally let the bathroom trash pile up as high as the top of the toilet before he asked me why I wasn't taking it out, and why did the house cleaners, I have arthritis, and would clean between visits, but it took a team to get the house cleaners. Stop coming. And why don't I literally yawned and said I would get right to it and went on vacation by myself for a week. He was pissed, furious. I didn't come home until the entire house was clean. Dinners were made and all the laundry was done. Hasn't happened since. See, when you stop doing it and then they finally notice, then they will either have no choice but to step up, or you'll see if they will be okay with living in a pigsty. Okay, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about these two. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I think that the tolerable level of permanent unhappiness is happening quicker. So this woman posted this in the Ask Women Over 40 subreddit, saying, emotionally checked out of marriage. But look at this. She says, I've been married for 2 years. So she's already getting to that point that she's writing into Reddit, and she's been married for 2 years. She says, my husband hardly ever helps around the house. And yesterday he came home from work and wanted us to watch TV together. And I told him to wait since I was trying to catch up with my journaling. He threw a fit saying, I'm prioritizing my hobbies over him, and asked what I was doing the whole day. And when I said I was cleaning, he says it's not his fault and I didn't ask for his help. When I mention how I'm working a lot, he will one up me and says he works 7 days a week. I try to be mindful because he has ADHD, but ever since I've been working a lot, I'm noticing him get upset I'm not spending time with him when the time I have to myself is spent on cleaning and cooking. And one of the things that I say quite a bit is that we need to be more than just the servants. We need to be more than just a wife and mom. We need to keep some of our identity, and you shouldn't have to ask your husband to help around the house. He should be participating in the house that he lives in by doing chores and child rearing and all of that. You shouldn't have to ask for help. And like this person at the bottom says, so many marriages die because men don't do domestic chores. And that really has got to change. But, I don't know. I just see more women just opting out and just tired. But I don't see that there is a shift coming on that dynamic. Arsenal Spider says that's the symptom of the actual issue, which is the lack of maturity and respect for their partner. They see marriages like having a mom-like person who enables them to slack off adult responsibility with a sex bonus. They buy into the trad narrative that excuses their behavior as long as they have a job, and having a job is no longer enough. Representative No says, even though women have to work full time a lot today too, we just do it on top of everything else. Shaking a tail feather says, we liberated ourselves to do twice the work. I don't like this narrative because we liberated ourselves so that we could leave if things were terrible in the home, or so that we could have our own ambitions and accomplishments, because we are not simply just the servants. Everybody that's an adult person should be cleaning and cooking. This is not the work that is in the house should not just be relegated to women, because like one of the comments in another post a few days back says, the woman's work or the housework doesn't require a uterus to do it. It's not on us simply because we're women. Technical Slip says, I mean, I liberated myself to have my own goddamn paycheck so I can piece out if my spouse gets abusive or cheaty, a privilege neither of my grandmothers had. I'm lucky that I have a spouse who contributes, but I wouldn't be mad at Women's Lib for getting me a paid job in any scenario. Absolutely. That's the type of energy. And Blackbird in Space says, thank you, LOL. I genuinely hate the narrative that women had it better back in the day. They fought for us to be able to live on our own and leave an unfulfilling marriage. Exactly. And then this person at the bottom says, exactly. Having options is priceless. I would much rather get on by my own hard work than be stuck in a bigger house playing mom and sex dispenser to a useless and or abusive husband. And with that, I'm going to end it because that is absolutely true. Women who seem to be anti-feminist because they have to go to work, forget or act obtuse as to why women were so adamant about it, about us having options. It's the options part that they seem to forget. Anyways, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.